Well, good evening or good afternoon, and thank you for coming to our ceremony on this lovely, warm, dry day. My name is Carrie Haley. I'm the director at the foundation here at CVPH, and we're really excited to have our first annual candlelight ceremony. As many of you know, this project was over a year in the works. We dedicated the space on August 4th and of this past summer, and since then we've seen many people come here and use the circle for a variety of reasons, and I know it's brought peace to many folks. In fact, it was even used as the backdrop for our Veterans Memorial Service, and it's really special to be able to honor our veterans here too. We'll move our ceremony along. It's a bit chilly, and when we're done, we do invite you to the hospital. We'll have some warm beverages in the lobby so you can warm back up before going home. As a keeper of an Angel of Hope statue here, we are honored to be part of the tradition of having a candlelight ceremony. As many of you know, there are candlelight vigils that are being held at Angels all across the country tonight, and so we're one of over 100, so we know that when we remember our loved ones, there are lots of others remembering them on this day as well. So we have a very special program prepared for you. And first up, I'm going to introduce Lisa Van Atten. Lisa has been a supporter of the project since it was dreamed up by Gina McCullough when we first thought about it. And so we want to thank Lisa for being here and giving us a special reading to open up our ceremony.
Thank you, Carrie. When Carrie first asked me to read a poem or a prayer today, I naturally was honored, and I'm still honored. And I immediately reached out to a friend who has a very key role in the Compassionate Friends. Many of you may be familiar with them. And she provided me with this poem actually pretty readily, pretty quickly, and I read it, and it left me with a very powerful message. Then I went home over the weekend and started looking online, thinking I wanted to find a different message, and I looked and I looked and I looked, and I just couldn't find another poem that said the same thing, or maybe even something a little more special. So I'm back to what I started with, that I got from my friend Dalen Walter, again, who's with the Compassionate Friends. So I will read this for you today, and apparently it's called the Dash Poem, and it has been published hundreds of times in books, newspapers, magazines, and company newsletters. So you may have read this before. I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of his friend. He referred to the dates on her tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of her birth and spoke of the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time that she spent alive on earth. And now only those who loved her know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left. That can still be rearranged. If we could just slow down enough to consider what's true and real, and always try to understand the way other people feel, and be less quick to anger, and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy's being read, with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you spent your dash?
Thank you, Lisa. That was very nice. Next we have a prayer that is going to be led by the Reverend Jesse Doerr, who's the CVPH Interfaith Chaplain, Father William Raymer, CVPH Roman Catholic Chaplain, and Rabbi Emma Gottlieb from Temple Beth Israel. And following their prayer, we will light our candles and will be led in the song by the Plattsburgh High School Select Vocal Ensemble.
Let us pray. We come to you, God, to remember those who have gone. Venerable and hallowed are the memories of those who have died. We recall them with warmth and affection, grateful to God for the gift of their lives, for their faithful companionship, and for the cherished remembrances which endure. May God comfort all who mourn. May God grant them strength to see beyond their sorrows and sustain them in their grief.
There are often times, O God, when we feel alone, and yet we know in our hearts that we are never alone. You are always there waiting for us to speak to you of our desires, hopes, and dreams. Love, family, friendship have come from you. But the greatest gift of all is your presence, which time and again has given us strength, faith, and courage. Now, in the midst of doubt and confusion, we need to know that you are beside us in the depth of our being. With you there, we know we are never alone.
Loving and ever-present God, we believe that your grace is sufficient for all things. Comfort us anew by your presence. Allow that in our weakness we may be made strong, in our grief consoled, and in our ignorance wise. Protect and guide us that we may know the way to take, and that at each crossroad of life we may see the right path to choose. Safeguard us by your power, uphold us your kindness, and warm us by your love.
So we'll wait for the choir to come down. They just wanted to stay warm. So their voices would work well when they came down here. So we'll start lighting candles in the preparation.
Feel good right now.
Have the Plattsburgh High School Select Vocal Ensemble led by Bill Verity singing Paye Zoo. Thank you very much. Those are beautiful angelic voices. And we're now going to begin the reading of the names. And we have some special readers here with us tonight. We have Jeff Lorenz, and I'll have each of them come up. Michelle Senecal, Craig Von Bargen, Deborah Good, and Sandra Gay. Michael John Carpenter, Sean McCullough, Michael John Carpenter, Sean McCullough, Cletus Benjamin, Valita Benjamin, Marvin Benjamin, Jeffrey Benjamin, Mark Andrew Gilliam, Dr. and Mrs. A.D. de Grandpré, Nicholas Michaud, Bob Filion, Tori Lynn O'Neill, Ken Dupreez, Gary W. King.
Charlene C. Wolf, Shirley C. Labarge, Timothy J. Pellman, Alan Lefty Labarge, Richard Penfield, Kristen Marie Mills, R.N., Caitlin Elizabeth Avis Evans, Colin James Cameron, Morgan Baker, Paxton Riley Trombley, James A. Grotto, Agnes D. Grotto, Eric J. Lorenz.
Ellis Patnode, Elisa Gallegos Patnode, Harriet Jarvis, Donald and Violet Morcoux, Donna Morcoux, Stephen Morlow, Franklin Agnate Sr., Marion and Charles Arthur, Joanne Seguns, Eleanor Perkins, Clifford and Geraldine Scott.
David George Hathaway, Barbara and George Mitchell, Sydney Hathaway, Carol Smith, Patricia Howard, Wayne Richards, Cheryl Ray, Leona LePan, Roger and Lillian Baker, Norman Levine, Frank and Doris Richards, Sydney and Lillian Hathaway, Francis and Andrew Rasko.
Rita Rabidou, Dorothy Tixera,
Charles Teixeira, Jean Thorley, Joshua Sullivan, Brian Crew, Nick Pinsino, Pablo, Amber Lavarnway, Hugh Gallagher, Kathy Gibbon, Marianne Davidson, David Frenier.
Jerry Blanche, Lena Sartori, Nancy Grant, Francis Yando, Sandra Brissett, Lawrence Deo, Clarence Drolette, Nina Santori, Nathan Joseph Masters, William Rondo, Colby Lamunde, Daniel L. Gracie, Mark Dragoon.
Naomi Harvey, Harold Harvey, Debbie Harvey, Alex Harvey, Todd DeForest, Trent DeForest, Amber Truepack Townhawk, Angela M. Stone, Daniel L. Adams, Francis H. King, Patricia Steen, Charles Dufresne, and Melissa Latin Penfield.
Is there anyone else who would like to come forward? I'd like to invite you up to say a name if there's someone tonight. Julia Del Signor. Jonathan Morse. Richard Pearl. Rachel Pearl. Rachel Pearl. Eric Pellerin. Jared Provost. Mary Ellen and Norman Martineau and family. Karen Bingle. Shirley A. Williams. Gary Guerin. Lisa Penfield.
Cassie Lorenz,
So at this time, we're going to do our flower tribute. Some folks have brought flowers. We have a few more up here. If you weren't able to get them, they were donated by Country Expressions. And the Plattsburgh High School Select Vocal Ensemble again is going to lead us in another lovely song, which translates to mean "Give us peace." And following the song and the placing of the flowers at the base of the angel, which is a tradition with our Angel of Hope, we invite you to warm up inside. And again, we thank you all for coming here to remember our loved ones.
You did a good job.